Greetings! So here's another somewhat electronic related random video. This is gonna be a short one. So I was visiting today a mecca of Poundland and I was tempted by something what I'm holding in my hands. Normally you go to Poundland and you end up buying a ton of shit that you didn't want in the first place. Today I bought this little thing which says Keychain charger. So I thought this will be handy because I wanted to make a video about different charging cables, and this looked like a effectively really short charging cable. It's just got a USB plug on one end and a micro USB on the other to plug into your phone or whatever device. And I thought, yeah, that will be good for a comparison with another cable, different lengths, different makes. So I went for it. And as it seemed a good idea, there is a number of things wrong with it which make it very unusable. So first of all, from the outside it looks okay. It's got USB plug on one end, which obviously is not a full USB plug, just like a PCB style connector that you should slide into a USB, and a micro USB on the other end. And as it is in the box, you would think that there's essentially nothing very wrong with it. As I got it out of the box, it became apparent that first thing that is really wrong with it, this thing is very rigid. It seemed like it was made out of maybe silicone or some sort of flexible material, which would have made sense if it was a little bit flexy, but this is rigid. This is hard plastic. So essentially, what's wrong with that? Well, if you plug this into a side of your laptop or a charger or anything, well, the most use of this would be charging from a laptop because it's right on your desk on a flat surface. If you move your phone or whatever is connected to it, you are very likely to either break this thing into pieces or to damage your charging port on your phone, which will be a lot more costly, I guess. So that's number one thing wrong with this piece of junk. Second thing, putting that aside, yes, it's a rigid keychain charger thingy. Here is a USB plug that I pulled out of another electronic equipment not long ago. I tried to fit it in and it's really tight fit. In fact, when I tried to plug it in another charger, it wouldn't even fit at all. I had to force it, and then I realized that as you plug it in, it bends the whole plug, the whole USB plug, the white bit inside, it bends it over. This thing is effectively not compliant with USB standard at all, because it's thicker than a USB plug. So to show you, let's zero this out. I'm gonna measure this right at the tip, and that's 2.84 millimeter. And here is a USB plug, a compliant one. This is the section that we're measuring, and can you see how much difference there is? So if I measure this, that's 1.9 millimeters. So there is almost a millimeter difference in thickness between normal USB plug and this piece of junk. So not only you are likely to damage your phone on this end, but you're likely to screw up your USB port in your laptop with this end. So this is a very useful thing. USB port as a whole measures roughly about 5 millimeters. That's what it looks like. That's not exactly accurate, but we can go with that. And the white, the insert part in the plug is about 1.6 millimeters thick. So the gap around USB port leaves us 3.4 millimeter, where there is a small gap at the top for the shielding to go around, maybe half a millimeter, 0.6. Let's call it 2 millimeters. So there is about 3 millimeters here with a gap and so forth, but this is just a lot thicker. Even though it hasn't got the shielding around it, it's just bad. What makes it even worse, as you plug it in, this gets progressively thicker the deeper you put it into the USB port. At the deep end it's over 3 millimeters, so that's almost double. Let's have a look. Let's measure it over here. Yeah, 2.99. That's right about where a USB plug ends. So at the end it's 3 millimeters thick, so it's significantly over 30% more than what it should be. So let's open it up and see what's inside. At this moment I wouldn't be surprised if inside there was nothing but a super tiny wire connecting one end to another. It says on the box that it is a sync and charge function. Oh, and you get a keyring. It seems like it's completely glued together, and this might actually work if I get rid of the case for it. It would be right thickness without the rest of the stuff on it. That sounds about right. I will have to get a little bit medieval with this. You see, the plastic is so hard and so brittle that you can't even bend it or cut it, because it breaks, as you just saw, flies off in random directions, causing collateral damage. This might be just about usable without that black plastic on the outside. You see, there is another white plastic insert inside, which looks to be just about right length, oh sorry, thickness, in order to work with a USB, but no. So this is not going to work, because I can see now that the white plastic bit wiggles in here, so it doesn't go all the way through as I thought, so that's gonna be the end of it. Oh, and that crumbled too. Oh god, this is an absolute piece of junk. You see, Poundland has got a lot of useful stuff. Now we can see, so as expected, super thin, enamel coated wires, and that doesn't go any further. I don't think it's worth going any further, to be honest, because it's such a junk. Seems like a nice idea though, only if it was made not rigid but a little bit flexy, like for example those. If it was like this, it would be quite a usable USB keychain cable, but now I've completely destroyed it. Yeah, this whole thing is just glued shut, so it's got a CE mark on the back and a wee bin. Yeah, I could bet some money that even that CE mark is not the right dimensions, because there is something wrong with the actual logo on there. And the micro USB plug. So there's just a tiny bit of a sleeve in here, and the wires go all the way through and are soldered onto the micro USB plug, and the soldering is horrible. The wires are thin and flimsy. There we go. So that's all there is to it. Horrible item from Poundland. Completely unfit for purpose. Oh dear. Okay, that's it. Take care.